Hi everyone, so this is going to be part 3 for Britney Spears. The reason I've done this one before the next part that I want to do is because I know as soon as Britney started dancing with knives, that is going to be the next talk of the town. And I mentioned, I think it was in Nicola Bulley's Interlude part 5 or 4, I can't remember the last one. I mentioned that everyone's going to get on the bandwagon of it and readings and tarot readings. And that's fine. It's fine if you're a tarot reader and you say, I'm just reading whatever comes in the news. But when you say you're doing an energy reading, or you're channeling if you're doing mediumship, but you're not doing that and you're using decks, and you're using decks that are like murder crime decks, then of course your reading is gonna bring out that sort of stuff. But then also the same sort of thing is pray for Britney, free Britney, but you're waiting for her downfall. And not only are you waiting on a downfall, it's like you're making a wish so that you can validate your own reasoning. But I can guarantee you without watching that most of the same people that are maybe going on that, saying pray for Britney, which is indirect narcissism, because you're putting something out there, have probably said that Sam's in it with her father and they're going to take her to, I don't know, an island somewhere, we'll never hear from her, or in a mental health hospital. I don't know what's out there, but I think that's what I'm thinking. And seeing as it's not the same reading as validating your reading, because your reading I don't think your reading would have been she's going to come out with Dance with Knives. And we all know we don't have to be a tarot reader to think that anyone's going to take any excuse to get in there where they can. Because when someone has a history, it's very easy to pinpoint. And so I mentioned in that part of Nicola Bulley that actually this is going to go on, when in fact she knows what she's doing. I said it. And the next day after that, she put a post. Let me get it up. She actually, when she put it, she said that she was copying Shakira's performance. And after that, then the next post on the knives was, I know I spooked everyone with the last post to knives. So the first post for knives is basically, these are fake knives, don't get scared. And I'm copying Shakira's performance. And then the second one is 4 days ago, I spooked everyone with the last post, but these are fake knives that my team rented from a hand prop shop in LA. These are not real knives. No one needs to worry or call the police. I'm trying to imitate one of my favorite performers, Shakira, a performance I was inspired by. Cheers to the bad girls who aren't afraid to push boundaries and take risks. That to me says that someone knows very well from the first post, by saying these are fake knives, what they're doing and why they've got it. Why aren't we questioning people that might start dancing with fire? There's fire dancers out there. When I think of fake knives, when I first saw it, I thought of fake knives that you would get in kiddie shops. And then I would say, no, that is probably a lie. But then if you think of a proper prop shop, or even restaurants when they have displays, they have fake stuff that look exactly real. Okay, and I don't think she's going to be using knives the way she would. So at that stage, I sort of kind of believed it, but I never had a concern because I can read into energy. And if you've been following me, before I even did part 1 of Britney Spears, before there was anything to call on, I said I need to do a reading on Britney Spears. I think in that I said about 6 months ago that I wanted to do a reading, and I knew that there was going to be something that comes up. Probably I knew the relationship was coming into it because of just the energies of, I felt there's a gap there. But why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? Because Why is it okay? Let's say she was a gothic singer and she got a fake knife and she put it towards her, and then she put fake blood in her mouth and brought it out, or someone else did that and said it was fake knives, or whatever it is, we would just go with the flow. Why is it also, I'm going to go on to another subject, I'm going to say, why are we focusing on the downfall of somebody who it seems like it's so easy because of history and because of what she's been through, and more than that, just to be clickbait? At least if you are someone out there doing that, say you're doing a tarot reading on a news article on something, but don't say you're channeling energy, or and you're using decks that are dark in a sense, and you are, I lost my train of thought. So just say you're doing an article on the latest, or I've seen Britney's thing, I'm just going to do a reading on it. But I just think it's wrong to say that you're praying for someone when actually you're putting spell work out there, you're putting energy out there that is not good for someone who is alive, who is trying to get their life together. And I pose this question to anyone. When you're trying to act normal, when you're trying to be normal, or even when you're trying to have a conversation with someone who's of a different gender, race, etc. And this time and age, we sometimes don't even know how to talk anymore because you're frightened if that person takes it offensive, or if it's not woke language or whatever language. Imagine being in a situation where you're going through a divorce, everyone's watching, okay? And I'll get to the second part. You already question people thinking that you're not mentally there, and you're trying to be yourself, and you might want to try and experiment and do stuff. Regardless of what you do, as soon as you step out of a boundary a little bit, you end up being scrutinized or being called she's lost it. Whatever it is, whatever she does, she's going to be said, someone's waiting on that, she's lost it, or on that Sam never loved her, he's part of this whole game or something. Why can't it be true support? If you can't read into energy, just don't read into energy, but put some positivity for the girl. If you mean to pray for Britney, then pray for Britney. Don't put conflicting messages. And the thing is, people follow it. People are not seeing. It's like, if you saw my energy read, the first one, there was a couple of cards. I was like, I'm not pulling them out because I know. One of the services I do is manifestation work. I know. And I said about her energy and her presence, and that's why I did the reading. If I ever do pop stars or celebrities, it's not about juice, it's about something about their energy. So if you see a title of a pop star, or I was going to say rapper because I'm thinking of doing a rapper, something about their energies, there's something more to it as opposed to some juicy clickbait. So now I'm going to go on to the next post, is where she's put, this was a day ago. Is it a joke in the news again with the wellness checks? So does that mean there was one or there wasn't one? But apparently everyone's saying there is one. But then who's done that? Anyone who's praying for her downfall. It could have been you also, that are all like, why is she dancing with knives? Can you do a reading on the knives? Can you do it? And I've already said, it's normal, she's present, she knows what she was doing. What are you worried about? That she wants to commit suicide? She's not going to do it while she's dancing with knives. And she's not lost her mind, actually. She's very present. I felt her energy more present. Obviously there's days, but more present, more days present in the last 6 weeks than when she was in her marriage, or then when she got out of, the rehab, or some recent times with in her marriage. And I read this in both of the readings, and I understand it's not clickbait, but I truly wish her well. And when I say I'm concerned for some reasons. And even this remake about Crossroads being released, that's concerning. Because why? Even people that can get into her aura or know what they can do to get her money, like Past, are going to be able to do it. When people go through divorces, everyone can say this. When people go through divorces or a loss of a family member who's passed away, I'm not saying that's happening right now, how many family members actually change and you didn't predict they will act that way? Or when you're going through a divorce or a legal battle, each side have to be a bit conniving because of the lawyers, what they put in, and to win. It doesn't mean if people tend to change that once upon a time they were like that. They shouldn't really change if you have purity in your heart. But sometimes that is what happens. We're like, I never knew this person could be that person. And there's a trigger there. Do I agree with asking for money for certain stuff I put in part 2? I don't agree with it at all. But I'm not also going to feed on the frenzy that, you know, for example, Sam was there for 6 years so that he could get a marriage, that the prenup says he doesn't get anything, and then just wait 6 months out. We're not talking 2 years here. Let's go back to this post a day ago. The welfare check. Is it a joke in the news again with wellness checks? Come on, America, we're cooler than that. The officers came to my home and said... So then she says the officers came to her home and they wouldn't leave until they spoke to her, as people do 4-minute performances with them. I'm getting an apology. I've been bullied in my home for so long now. It's enough. Don't talk about it. Come on, let's do. As my mum does, the silent treatment when paparazzi ask questions about her daughter as if I'm in the wrong. Nope, it's an old game. People need to be responsible for their actions. It's about power for the cops. This is what she's put, and look at the post that I'm going to enter. And then I'm going to also enter the wording of something else as well, which validates why I was saying I'm going to read on Britney for about 6 months. Eventually I did part 1 and part 2. So you can see from that post, she says, it's very hard when you've been traumatized to stay present. What did I mention when people were asking me to do like readings on other stuff? I said, I've got Britney Spears on my list because I'm kind of concerned about her. And I said about her energy. And I said about her energy is not always present. That's my validation. Even before I did the reading, and most of the reading, part 1 and part 2, is mainly channeling, apart from the messages that are on different things for the cards that I like to use as divination for you to see. But as you can see right now, I'm not, and when I've gone into the different cases, I don't necessarily need tarot, but I use it as a divination of an art of tool. And lost my train of thoughts. Yep, so I'm validating how I tune into energy without even fully always checking her posts. I knew it. I knew she wasn't there all the time. And I actually feared that she'd be over-drugged where she couldn't be present, and I felt she was fighting so much to be present in her body all the time. And let me tell you now, she's never been more present in her body. She has days. That's why part 2, I said to you, I think there was a few days. And I think 2 days ago, I felt it as well. Maybe that's when she got the welfare check. But who did that? That could be all those people that are doing those readings, if there's a lot of people doing the readings, or people that are frenzy about the knives. Why is she dancing with the knives? Why this? Why that? She's not well again. She's going to be taken away. Well, actually, if you cause a frenzy and it escalates on social media, you then also that also gives a gap for people that are waiting, that can suck into her money to have her in a downfall. Family members. They see a frenzy of social media. They see you lot, oh, pray for Britney, I hope she doesn't. But then going on every page and saying, can I have a reading on this? Or, you know, where a tarot reader's done like just new stuff, or doing whole things on Britney, and this is what I believe she's going to happen, and then stuff like that, and then saying, look, the welfare check has happened, but you didn't say why there would be a welfare check. It wasn't to do with knives or dancing, which in fact she knew what she was doing. Was it the most sensible thing to do when you're in sort of spotlight? No, but when would it be okay to dance with knives with her? It doesn't look like it will ever be okay. Why can some people, again, I ask, why is it okay for other pop stars to dance with a knife, or to dance with knives or swords? Why is it okay for people to have stuntmen and jump off cliffs, have a stuntman or something like that? That's like, you know, someone saying, that's like her saying, I've got fake propped knives, which there are now when you go to the proper places, like when you buy your costumes and stuff, there are now. The way she dances, I doubt they're real. When she first said they're fake, I was like, because I was thinking of the ones that kiddies have, I was like, they look extremely real. But when you think of props and restaurants, it makes sense. But I can also read into her energy that she was fully there. Now, interestingly, I've just looked at her Instagram, and as I'm doing this, and she's posted her small dog Snow. As I've gone to check it, because I was going to mention it, at first it said, so it says, is this fine? ? And it's Snow, her little, I don't know if it's a small Shih Tzu or Pomeranian puppy that she's put in a little dress, and she's put some glasses, and, you know, she's like, hi baby, you've got your glasses on, or something like that. But now when I just clicked on it so that, because I was going to mention, she's taken away, is this fine now? So she's actually saying to you, to everyone that's on this frenzy, is this okay for you? Is this safe enough for you? Does this look okay? If you look at her posts, she's never been made more sense. Yes, she's still sometimes in the lack of clothing, but she's actually worn more clothing in her post more recently, and she's made more sense in her captions, and she's actually present in her energy, because I can feel it without even looking at her pictures. So I was going to add on someone that I actually wanted to bring to light, and I was going to say, why don't you all focus on this person right now? But I'm going to put it in a separate reading so it doesn't get mixed up, okay? Because I think it's important to bring this element to light. But this is about, please, firstly, as viewers and subscribers, and I know this is why I've not hit thousands and thousands or whatever, because I refuse to do, and if I do in the topic people, it's because it's around, like I said, there's a purpose, there's a deeper message. It's not about clickbait. And if you enjoy, so when you say pray for Britney, you also need to be in that light. You also need to be not promoting a frenzy so that she does get police turn up at her house, and then validate your own reason. Or, you know, your own reason was maybe her father or her mother turn up, or her husband's in part of the game, or whatever. And that energy can change, like I said, through divorce or through anything. We can always, things can change. But also differentiate if you're just reading news or if you're actually channeling energy. And maybe this is not going to be for everyone, and I know it's not, because it's not clickbait hot topics. But when I'm dealing with someone, or, you know, like Britney, she's alive and she's probably getting through a tough time, a heartbreak, like probably Sam is feeling it, but she's feeling it, and she's probably feeling betrayal. Can I do a reading on the knives? I certainly can. Can I do a reading? It's going to get 100k, 2k, whatever. Yes, I can. With the tarot, and say I'm channeling her own energy and mind probing right now, I can do it. But I'm not going to read on just the latest. Why is she dancing with knives? Why this? Why that? Yes, she's losing it. Next, she'll be on an island. Why are you praying for that to happen? You're not praying to free Britney. You're not praying for the light for her. You're actually praying for her downfall, and all that energy is going towards her. Just think how hard it is to question every step. And like I said, for me, it's the biggest concern of people that might try to come into her energy, and people that are not. I think you get my point. I just had to say this because I don't think anyone's realizing. If you are, I just, you know, I guess you're never going to be following my channel. But just think about it a little bit, you know, and make sure you know who's channeling, who's an energy reader, who's an energy healer, and the difference between tarot and just using certain decks to read into stuff. And also about putting dark energy out there on people. I don't know, it's just not nice. So I had to say this, and may she stay protected, and may the wrong people stay away. Use your discernment, and maybe on who you follow, and follow what you enjoy as well. But if you're following because you like certain stuff, make sure you're not contradicting on what you're saying. You know, there's some people that would call the welfare actually, and then say pray for her. We've called the welfare, but you've not called the welfare for the right reasons, because you know it's going to do more damage than good. I've mentioned about, I think the worst thing is certain people that's going to try and come into her circle, and that's where she needs to be careful. And I don't doubt that she also might be on, you know, a private care plan and some medicines or whatever. It's also making sure no one takes advantage of that. But continue to see my readings if you enjoy them. I had to put this message out there. So yeah, I hope everyone stays blessed, and may we all be protected. Those of us of light and kept in light. And this is not of any intention for anyone, but it is just to say, careful with what you put out there maybe, or what you're wishing for. If you're wishing for the good, make sure it's not aligned. And this could be anyone out there for any reason. And do check out the next person that I'm going to do a little video on, because I think you can channel your energy into maybe causing a frenzy on that for some good, because I find it a bit shocking actually, and that's what I'm going to voice on it. Take care everyone, stay blessed.